All right. So Beyonce, through her nonprofit BeyGOOD and Adidas, are partnering to give up to $1,000 to those suffering as a result of the winter storms, according to Beyonce's official website. The funds are for those living in Texas or any state affected by the storms, per the announcement. In partnership with the Bread of Life Inc., the Disaster Relief Assistance Fund will also provide a one-time payment to those who have experienced a non-reoccurring, sudden, or emergency-related financial hardship due to an unforeseen or unavoidable event, according to the application form.
All right, let's get an update on Texas and the BeyGOOD Adidas outreach right now. Founding pastor of Bread of Life Inc., Rudy Rasmus, is here with us live. He's also an author and humanitarian. Welcome to Fox News Black Report, Pastor Rasmus. How are things in Houston?
It's great. It's good to be with you today.
Sorry about that. I got caught up talking to our soulmates. We try to take any break we can to just check in with the soulmates on YouTube, and I didn't have as long of a break as I thought. Pastor, you've worked with the Knowles Carter family for years. Can you tell us about this BeyGOOD and Adidas partnership, and how can our soulmates in Houston find out more if they need the help?
You know, first of all, we have been at it for many years, 29 years. We've been serving the needs of Houstonians who have been really caught and stuck out. Through this new partnership with Adidas, first of all, Beyonce has been with us her entire life and grew up in our church singing on our choir when she was a teenager. And so this is just one more step in her, with a generous heart. She and her mom, Tina, have been just amazing over the years. But Adidas has been very generous with the Bread of Life. And if you want to support, you can go to our website. It's Bread of Life Inc., breadoflifeinc.org. And that's where about 150,000 people applied for some emergency assistance.
Thank you so much, Pastor Rasmus, for joining us. And besides the obvious, what I really like about Beyonce is that she does a lot of donating to different causes, and she doesn't make a big announcement about it. And so actually the same for you. You work with Beyonce on a lot of humanitarian efforts in Houston that many people do not know about. Can you tell our soulmates a little bit about those?
You know, I've been actually helping support her philanthropy for many, many years and have traveled all over the world, really serving people who are in the throes of very difficult situations. You know, Beyonce has really stepped up every time there's been a major crisis in Houston. Her foundation, BeyGOOD, and Tina have really come to our aid. This time, it's just been amazing. We are in the process right now of sending $1,000 checks to many, many people. We have great partners, and over the years, we've been able to really help. During this pandemic, we have really helped about 1,000 families a week with really life-sustaining food and supplies, sometimes 2,000 a week. But every week since we have been in the midst of this pandemic, and BeyGOOD also came alongside to help us first test, to serve that community that was underserved and unreached. And now we're just doing the same for those who have been impacted by that winter freeze that was so unlike Texas, man. It was just unbelievable.
It was completely unbelievable. Beyonce's mother, Tina Lawson, talks about your ministry often on social media. Can you talk to our soulmates about Bread of Life Inc. and its ministries?
Yeah, 29 years ago, my wife and I started serving one hot meal a week to homeless people in the sanctuary at the church. That one hot meal evolved into 500 a day for the next 22 years. From there, we began finding other areas that we can serve the community. We ended up building about $30 million in housing. As a matter of fact, the Knowles family was our first investor on our first housing project. And we primarily build housing in downtown Houston, really purposed for those who have been homeless at least a year before moving in one of our apartments. We have about 140 units where previously homeless people sleep every night. It's just been an amazing journey over these years, and the Beyonce and Tina have been really at the forefront of all of our activity during that time.
That is just so beautiful. Again, a story that wasn't publicized, but it's good to know that Beyonce and her family are doing that. So we would like to know, what does the city of Houston need the most right now? And how can people support the work that Bread of Life, Inc. is doing?
The city needs really everything because we are really still in the midst of a pandemic. Water has been key. It's still moving into our city. But if you want to support this work really tangibly, you can go to breadoflifeinc.org and look at the work on our website that's taking place every day. We've been on the ground serving people in the throes of personal and natural disasters since we hit the ground in 1992, and have continued to do so. One of the unique things, Beyonce growing up in our church and in our community, literally sat next to people who were homeless, who were in the throes of those personal disasters every Sunday as really a child growing up, and is very well acquainted with what it means for a person to be okay one day and the next day be completely stuck out. So she has literally, from the moment of first success, I think that song was No, 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 back in 1999, helped us build a youth center. And from there, we have been working together, helping people ever since. It's been just a great journey. And she's such an amazing person, just a wonderful heart, and rarely publicizes most of what she does. She just continues to give, and we have definitely been one of the key benefactors of her generosity.
Okay. Do you think people in Houston are getting the support they need from the state and federal government right now?
Well, I'm hoping that it will increase. The storm, I believe, caught most of our officials off guard. We have a great mayor in Houston. Mayor Sylvester Turner has really been doing a great job in spite of the lack of state and federal support. But we're catching up, and now that we are today it was 79 degrees, I believe, and water is returning to our faucets. That's going to help a lot. But what we do know is we got a problem that we're going to need to fix, because this isn't the first challenge that we're going to face, and hurricane season is on the way.
So I was wondering if you could give us an update on what's happening tomorrow. State lawmakers are going to question the power company. Who do you think is responsible for the power outage?
I've been looking at that situation, and I don't know. I know that there are a lot of elected officials that have a lot of splaining to do, right? And in the midst of it, hopefully we will get to the bottom of what happened. And who would have, first of all, imagined double-digit degrees in Houston, Texas, and at this point in the year? Normally, we are pulling out our shorts and getting ready to ride bikes. But we were shoveling snow and really trying to stay warm. And if I tell you I was colder than I've ever been in my whole life, I'll tell you, last week was something else. And there are a lot of traumatized Texans right now trying to figure out what happened.
My co-host Romeo just reported on the resignations of Texas Energy board members, right? So outside of an obvious failure to winterize the grid, a big criticism was that these board members live out of state. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I tell my congregation all the time, follow the money. Regardless to what the story says, see who's actually lining their pockets with the resources of hardworking people. And I think after that discovery is made, who really made the money, we might find it might extend beyond just those regulators that resigned.
So a big story right now is that President Biden is coming to Houston on Friday. Do you think that him coming to Houston will help anything at all?
Well, I hope so. He's new to the game, and we've been on the ground here for now a week trying to sort this out. Hopefully, if one thing happens, federal support will follow after he leaves town. That's what we're really hoping.
All right, before we go, Pastor, can you tell us a little bit about your new book?
Yeah. The book is entitled "I'm Black, I'm Christian, I'm Methodist." I wrote it with 9 friends, all scholars, And we're really talking about the plight of being Black and Christian in America right now. You know, the question that we are all asking, number one, is why are we Christian? Number two, why are we part of a mainline denomination in the midst of this that's predominantly Anglo? You know, when we, as we began to sort this out, we are ultimately going to land on what it means to create a new expression for Blackness as it relates to our Christianity in the midst of this mainline denomination. So it's been a good journey. The book released about a month ago, and it's going really well.
Thank you so much, Pastor, for joining us. You are welcome back anytime.
Thank you so much. It's good to be with y'all.
Yes, thank you so much.
And I'm
Take
definitely
care.
have to pick that book up. That's for sure.